Hey, this is Kyle from Crash Gordon, and welcome back to Keeping It Real. This is episode 2, and it's part 2 of self-belief and never giving up. Just want to welcome everybody back. If you haven't caught the first episode, check that out. And for those who have never seen the first episode, just a quick recap we're going to go through right now. In 2019, I started experiencing burnout from running my construction company for the last 5 years. In 2020, I lost my mother in February. Obviously, the world shut down in March. And then in April, I lost my dog of 14 years. So with the depression and sense of loss and the grieving that I was dealing with, coupled with the amount of burnout, I decided to take some time off work. I closed my construction business for 3 months, did some traveling, did some camping, and was trying to kind of heal up from everything that I had been experiencing. Instead, I started formulating a plan to develop a new business, and that business was going to be a gym. I decided that I was going to open a boutique boxing gym, and I was going to open it here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I found a location in East Town, which is kind of a cool, hip area of town, and secured $50K in funding. Basically built the entire concept from scratch. Secured the team, got really cool marketing, a cool logo, put everything together, and opened the gym in January of 2021. Obviously, that was right during the heat of COVID, and things were kind of wild at the time. It was the question of, do you wear a mask? Do you not wear a mask? We had a couple shutdowns, that were government mandated that forced us to close for, a week or two at a time. It was a really bumpy start. Looking back, I don't think my timing was very good. And I also did not plan this project well enough. I didn't give myself enough runway. So I had burned through the $50K in opening the gym. And towards the end, I was spending about $2,500 to $3,500 a month out of my pocket just to keep the lights on and to keep things going. And pretty soon we were out of money. We had very little to no support from the community. Obviously, the pandemic was still in full swing, and there was a lot of questions as to what was going on with that. Ultimately, I ended up deciding to close Strike Back Fight Club. That was a really, really tough loss because that was a passion project for me, and I really took that and ran with it. I built that entire gym on my back, and I was pretty devastated to lose it. With that said, though, I don't think that I would not do Strike Back Fight Club again. I think that it was a needed distraction at a great time of loss, and I learned a lot of valuable lessons. And some of those lessons are things that I want to give to people right now. And, hopefully that's something you can kind of learn from my mistakes as well. Number one is don't expect friends and family to support you. If you do come from a situation where you have an overwhelming amount of support from your friends and your family, I think that's great. In my case, I didn't. And I have come to learn that I have very little support from friends and family when it comes to starting businesses, owning businesses, running businesses. And that was really kind of a shock to me. I guess I had kind of expected that, friends support other friends. And often I think that's really not the case. The next lesson is timing is everything. I had very poor timing. I tried to open a gym during COVID. I mean, this was literally a global pandemic that was health-based, and the hospitals were being overrun. And there's all these crazy mandates going on and government shutdowns. And, I almost didn't open the gym. There were a lot of sleepless nights, and there was a lot of conversations that I would have with friends of mine about whether or not I should do this. And I didn't know if I should. I almost didn't sign the lease. I think that brings me to one of my next points, and that's just listen to your gut. I knew this was bad timing. I knew that this project could work. I knew that it was a good concept, and I knew that it had all of the elements to be a successful business, but the timing was wrong. And that's so important because timing is really everything in regards to the success of your business. Lastly is just plan. Make sure you document everything and have a strategy to achieve your goals. Winging it is incredibly dangerous and has real world consequences. So I lose Strike Back Fight Club, and I go through this period of time where I'm just I need to minimize everything. I sold my truck, I sold my car, I bought this little SUV, I was just really downsizing. I decided I was going to go back and work in the field, in the construction business, instead of just doing the office work. That lasted for a few months before I realized that was just not going to be something that was sustainable for me at this point in my life. This went on for a while until a new business, venture just kind of happened upon me. And kind of what happened is that when I moved the Strike Back gear into my suddenly super fancy home gym, my Muay Thai bags were dragging on the ground. I got in touch with a friend of mine who works in a manufacturing business, and we developed a prototype for a heavy back hanger that would allow to go up into a joist bay. We made the prototype and it was this very clunky thing, but we kind of looked at it and we're like, there's really nothing like this that exists on the market. So we brought in another friend and we started what is now Uppercut Sports. We spent a year in development, designing products, testing prototypes, refining our processes, sourcing everything that we needed, and ultimately ended up launching that business in November of 2023. And for those of you who don't know, Uppercut Sports is a boxing apparel and gym equipment manufacturer. We make heavy bag mounts and apparel for boxing and combat sports. All of our steel is made in America, and it's, a really cool project to be involved in. It's been really fun to be back in combat sports, even though that's a very tough industry to break into. It's a little bit cliquey. But I love it, and it's just been a ton of fun. It's been kind of refreshing to have a partner in this and people to work with and bounce ideas off and rely on. That has been just a really welcome experience in my life because I am so accustomed to doing everything by myself all the time. On the back of Uppercut Sports, we decided to build another company that is focused on brand development and e-commerce solutions. So that company is called Proclivity. We are basically a brand incubator, a brand builder, and we're trying to provide turnkey services for e-commerce businesses. So basically, if you came to us with an idea, we can build that entire business and get you to market. That is something that we are developing right now, and we're working on it, and it is also just very exciting. It's really cool to see this take shape. I'm able to kind of take a lot of my skills that I've gotten over the years and kind of put everything together. And building brands is fun. So as if running 3 businesses wasn't enough, I also decided to get into content creation. And this completely happened on a whim. So Uppercut Sports is completely bootstrapped. We have funded it ourselves. We have no outside investment. And so there are times where it can be financially challenging. And in the early days, we were, bringing in very skilled and talented photographers to do like our initial product shoots and really kind of establish what we wanted the brand to look like. The problem was that we realized that we were going to run out of money pretty quickly if we had to keep paying these people over and over and over again. So on a whim, I bought a camera and decided that I was going to learn photography and videography. That was in November of 2023. So for the last 6 months, I have been doing everything I can to learn about how to take pictures well and how to do video and video editing and get, post-processing audio and all of these things. And in that, I think I have truly found something that I enjoy, something that I am excited to do. It's been a ton of fun. It's been so much fun to just be excited about something again, for it to feel kind of new and fresh. Finally, I feel like I'm really back on track. I'm able to take everything that I've learned. I'm able to apply that to Proclivity and to Crash Gordon and to Uppercut. And, the construction company is still thriving. It's a really cool time to have kind of made it through those dark days and come out the other side relatively unscathed. I'm under no guise that my story is incredibly interesting or anything like that. I understand that it's unique, but everybody has a story, right? I think the reason that I really wanted to tell people my background and the things that are going on with me is that, this is what it takes. It takes trying new things. It takes persistence and dedication and learning from your mistakes. It takes diving in and taking chances and, just really never giving up in the face of adversity. You have to just believe in yourself. You have to have an uncompromising belief in yourself and just know that what you are doing is going to work. I'm 40 years old and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I have a lot of stories to tell. And this is the first of more stories to come. I thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Keeping It Real. Thanks.